claimed as a designer for everything. Okay? And you claim God is that designer. And what I say is, okay, if everything needs a designer, who designed God? You're caught in a trap now. It's a logical trap where you say as a statement, would you agree that everything needs a designer? And you say, answering your own question, yes, everything needs a designer. And I say, what about God then? Who designed him? And you say, oh, he doesn't need it. So you immediately make an exception for your case, but you won't let me make an exception for my case by saying that the universe itself doesn't need a designer. Why do you go one step beyond and say, the universe needs a designer, that's God, but God doesn't need a designer?
So you're saying that the universe doesn't need a designer?
Yep.
So basically you're saying like the universe is God.
No.
Who created the universe?
I'm just saying there's no necessity.
You mentioned about the law of logic. You said it's not logic. Well, the laws of logic say that for every effect there must be a cause.
And who caused God? Who caused God? That's the key point. I can trap you.
I know what
trap
you're
you
saying.
every time.
But the
of course you know what I'm saying. And your arrogance as a Christian prevents you from saying, yes, you are right, I should drop that argument.
But the law of causality.
No, there's no law of causality.
There is a law. Look, go and check it out on the internet. There is a law of causality.
That doesn't make it true.
That says for every effect there must be a cause.
But it's a false law.
Listen.
It's a false law. It's a false law. It's not true.
Give me a hearing.
It is
Give
wrong.
me a hearing.
Can we have this all the time?
Because
no. Give him a hearing, because you had a go before.
The law of causality does not say for every cause there must be a cause. It says for every effect there must be a cause. So you can't. You can't say who caused the cause, because it doesn't make sense.
But isn't an assumption that God is not an effect?
God is a cause. It can't be an effect. If God was an effect, somebody had to create God. So whoever created God must be the first cause. But God is not an effect. He is the cause.
But both you and I weren't there to know that.
If God can say from eternity to eternity, I exist, there cannot be a thing that creates God.
Ray, you are playing with words to suit your own case.
No, I'm just being logical.
Now listen, you could be just as logical and you make the same case for the universe as a whole. That you don't, but make it one step more and talk about God like the way you are talking to instead of the universe, then that shows that you are, you have prejudged the issue. You are not thinking it from the bottom up. You start with the assumption God exists instead of saying, what is the evidence that there is such a being as that, and working upwards?
No, the Word of God says that man will be without an excuse to know the existence of God.
That's begging the question. That's begging.
Hang on,
Ray, stop! No. That's begging the question.
Because
you said the Word of God says that assumes that God exists.
Yes, God does exist, because He says man will be without an excuse to know of His existence, because the invisible things of God are revealed in nature. So when you look at nature, you've got to say, where does it come from? Where does it come from?
Before I grant you all that, we have to establish the existence of God, so it's meaningful to talk about the Word of God.
So where does everything come from? Give me an explanation for life.
Okay, here's the answer. I don't know.
So to live in ignorance.
But I
Is it a
don't
truthful statement,
know
though?
because people who investigate these things, scientists, don't know.
Well, science.
Therefore, I'm not going to be arrogant and say, oh well, I've got an opinion outside the facts.
No, because the science is quite true by saying there is no science of creation, because they don't know.
Yeah.
So
how humble is that? How humble is that? Hey,
yeah, that is humble.
Scientists are humble, whoever's watching this. And I know my haircut is absolutely appalling, but at least I got value for money.
But it doesn't escape the fact that we have something instead of nothing. We have life, we have complexity of life, we have design, we can see and hear. We've got two eyes to give us the ability to judge distance. And we've got all these things. We function by design. Without your liver, you would not function. Without your heart, you would not function.
You do realise.
Take your kidneys away.
You do realise that all these organs of which you speak have all got their deficiencies. They all suffer from problems of design in the first place, and of disease and malfunction as age creeps up on you.
Well, you've got to come back to the beginning and say, if God who created all this had said it was good and very good, what went wrong? What went wrong that we now have disease, we have death, we have livers that get sclerosis, and all the rest of it.
So you're
it's
saying,
a result of man's rebellion against God.
Right. You're saying then that they're not perfectly designed.
They were in the beginning.
And man, puny man, screwed it up. Oh, come on, we're not that powerful. We're not that great.
Oh, yes,
no.
you were given a responsibility. Adam had the responsibility
there in the Garden of Eden,
to either
the two
obey
ladies are romping
or
around.
disobey.
No fig leaves,
Man
nothing like that.
chose to disobey,
God says arbitrarily,
on the day you
hey,
do,
see
you
that
will
tree
surely
over
die.
there? Don't you eat of the tree of knowledge. Don't you do that? And they do. And he says, for that, you... Okay, punish Adam and Eve maybe, but for all your descendants, all women bear children in pain.
They were the federal representatives.
Where was the constituents to vote for that?
Adam was the first man, and he was the federal rep of all humanity.
But hang on.
When he fell, the whole of humanity fell in him.
Ray, that's not fair. Billions of people have lived between me and Adam, and I'm still suffering from Adam's mistake.
Right.
And it was Eve. It was Eve, anyhow.
And
religion's made for men and men only. Women are only chattels and second-class citizens. You know it, and that's how you treat your women, isn't it? They're only chattels. You go over to the Middle East and find out.
I've got a question.
If
I've got a question.
If a woman who was taken out of the side of Adam was his rib. God didn't take the bone out of Adam's foot so that man could be dominating and domineering over a woman. One day you will leave this life, but if you do nothing about the way of forgiveness,
but I have told you,
which is
Ray,
the chief
I
aim
have
of
told
man,
you a million times that I'm guaranteed.
No, that's a lie. You haven't told me a million times.
Okay, I've told you many times that I'm guaranteed a place in heaven. There are two reasons. One, because I'm sincere in what might turn out to be error.
You can't.
But I'll tell you the other reason.
You can't base truth on sincerity. Because you can be sincerely
lack
wrong.
of punishment on sincerity.
If I said 2 and 2 make 5, and I can lay down my life for it, doesn't mean I'm right.
But I
can be sincere.
I wouldn't punish you forever for it.
I
wouldn't
sincere.
punish you forever.
But listen,
I wouldn't punish you for all eternity for doing something wrong.
The punishment is in the rejection of the gift. The punishment is in the rejection of the gift and the love of God that says you don't have to spend an eternity
I am not
in
rejecting,
hell.
I am saying, where are you?
He's all around you.
But I don't see that.
You see
That's
it.
why I'm sincere.
That's why God says you will be without
You
an
agree,
excuse.
man? You
Because
agree?
the invisible things of God are revealed in nature. Look at nature and you will discover that there's complexity. And where there's complexity, the cause of complexity must be more complex than what it's designed.
Shall I
It must be.
As an ex-Catholic, Ray, you'll appreciate this. The other reason, the other way I know that I'm going to heaven if it exists, is when I was little and believed, we were told by the teachers of school, Catholic school, that if you go to communion and Mass on 9 consecutive First Fridays, Christ promises you will not die in my disgrace, you will have the sacraments and you will go to heaven. I have done that. I did that. It's really hard. 9 consecutive First Fridays.
But you were hoodwinked.
Yes, but
You
that's the
believed
promise.
the lie.
It happens.
You
I believe the lie. Yes, I grew up. But you haven't. You still
I
believe?
no,
You still
I don't
believe
believe
pious
in what,
people like that?
I don't believe in what you have said.
No,
I grew up
but
a
you
Catholic.
believe in other
I
pious
did
people.
Exactly
You
what
believe
did.
on this earth there are people, Adam and Eve, that once
But you've
walked around.
got
Can
to
you
come
imagine
back
Adam and
to
Eve?
say what is the truth. And truth, by definition, is exclusive.
But you believe in Adam
You
and
have,
Eve.
and Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Yes,
He is the truth that is
Come on,
defended.
Burko, come and spoil it all.
Why they put him on the cross?